Hello and welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Dark Sage Walker, and before I even get into the run that I'm revisiting, let me remember to actually roll the die and pick our soundtrack. Alright, piano, cool. We haven't actually done a differing soundtrack in a while. My controller is acting funny. Give me just a moment. Alright, now we're looking good. Alright, so with just a little bit of a change to the formula, we were able to get the voltaic needle run to work. Now let's see if we can't get that fueled berserk run to work. So it was spark contact. Obviously fueled berserk, it wouldn't be much without it. I believe you had chosen shock assaults. And oh boy, what was the dash? I don't even remember what the dash was. I think, oh wait, ignition rush, that's right. Don't listen to the bird, she's upset for no reason. Pointing at you. And the relic of choice was Vampire's Eyeglasses, so we have ourselves a pretty classic crit heal build. So, what exactly would I change about this in order to make it work a little bit better for my preferred playstyle? Well, we're gonna keep Spark Contact, obviously. We're gonna keep Fueled Berserk, but we're gonna change the other two Arcana. Let's start by altering the dash to something with slightly more defensive applications. In this case, I think we're going to be doing our best work with something that will distract enemies. So we're gonna go with Frost Feint. Pardon me. As far as our signature, I am going to change the signature to Spark Array. But I'm going to leave everything else the same, even though I personally would change this to either Dark Katana or... Pardon me, I just finished eating and... Yeah, it's just a little sticky. But I would change this to either Dark Katana or the Analytical Monocle. But since the whole point of this is to essentially keep your health up through critical hits, I will leave that as it is. Okay, come on, Nox. I'm trying to show off this build using the retro floor plan. Nox, you suck. Which, admittedly, that pumpkin pie looks pretty good. Maybe I'm just really hungry. Okay. There it is. And I think the best place to start would actually be with the twins, because frankly, they are going to be very resistant to my build in general. And since I'm going to be relying very heavily on keeping enemies stunned through shock, we are going to just have to make that work. So get them out of the way, then the others shouldn't be that bad. So, obviously the idea behind my alteration to this build is that Alright, let me finish my first thought before going into other thought. Jesus. Yeah, as you can see, the idea that the most dangerous enemies on this floor are not affected by shock is a real problem. Alright, well, we're definitely going to want that. And I do think dynamic disarray is the right answer here. So one problem that I'm noticing with the way this build works is that the Fueled Berserk Spark Contact doesn't work well against groups of regular enemies just because of the large amount of knockback. And even though you are moving while you're using it, you're not moving very far. As you can see, the idea of trying to use Spark Contact with Fueled Berserk is making things relatively difficult. And as I previously stated, that is because of Spark Contact's knockback. Like, were it up to me, I would definitely say that you would be better off going with something along the lines of Bolt Rail because it's got less knockback and it's not going to push enemies completely out of your reach. Now, obviously, the idea is to... How does that work? Hold on to it for now. So, not surprisingly, this build works best against bosses and larger enemies that aren't going to be knocked back very far. But using this against regular mooks is actually more challenging than using it against bosses just for that very reason. See what I mean? You have to be constantly chasing enemies down while you... while you're using Field Berserk, and that just creates this game of like of having to constantly chase down enemies. And so perhaps the idea was that this was designed with bosses in mind, but it unbalances the fighting to the point where just fighting regular enemies is actually harder than fighting bosses with this build. And because of Spark Contact's very short range, what you've essentially got going on is that you are going to be constantly just trying to chase enemies down. I know I've said that already, but you can see the effect that it's having on the build itself. I'm gonna grab that. I'm gonna grab that. And I can give you the token. So obviously the idea is to try to essentially save Field Berserk for a point in which you can actually use it effectively. Which means you need other means of dealing with the other enemies. I'm building Signature pretty quick, so I'm gonna grab this. And there we go. Now, strangely, Air Spinner would probably actually work out better than Spark Contact, at least in the general range of things. But I'm gonna stick with Spark Contact because I don't want to upset the one that gave me this build. After all, if I change too much, then it's no longer even really the same build now, is it? But in the grand scheme of things, hopefully you understand why I chose Spark Array instead of Shock Assault. Simply being able to control the field as well as Spark Array does is precisely what makes it perfect for a build of this nature. Alright, anything here? Elfears might not be bad, neither would Caddy's Bubblegum. Alright, that room was an absolute nightmare. All right. Oh, hello. The doctor is in. But we don't want to give up Field Berserk, as that is the kind of the crux of the build, so... You know, that kind of creates a little bit of an issue. But for 250, we can make that a non-issue. And we'll come back for that. Oh, that's awful. Man. Oh well. And I can pretty much just ignore Ion Spike at this point, like forever. Now that is obviously where Spark Contact shines. And I would definitely say that it is... for bosses, it's worth its weight in gold. It's just not very effective against the regular enemies. At least not with Fueled Berserk active. There we go. Not bad at all. I only have one cursed relic, but because this increases critical hit chance, I think it's probably about the best thing to grab. And I would rather wear the gaudiest piece of headwear in the entire game. Save for maybe the unicorn disguise, but I mean, who doesn't love the unicorn disguise? Ugh. So looking at the original build, I'm quite aware that Shock Assault was chosen just for, big damage. What I would say about that is that I get why it was chosen, but unless you're going to be running the build with Dark Katana and just going with that heavy melee focus, I really think you're better off with Spark Array. I know I've said that a few times. I'm just making sure that my opinion is clear. Because I think that ranged control is more important than just more damage. Oh, that was god-awful. Alright, let's see if I can get something better than Ion Spike. Kind of. There we go. Alternatively, Frost Fan is also particularly good for that. And I mean ranged control, of course. Alright, let's see. I think this is going to be the better option just because we are charging a lot of signature. how does this work again? Taking damage increases your max health. Okay. I don't know how much that's actually going to help, but whatevs. Take it. Yeah, it was way too much damage. Too many of those spiked arenas. Just kind of got my ass kicked. Alright, not bad. Could have done better, but certainly not bad. We're not taking Stone Shot. Ow. You jerk. Oh, crud. Alright, so what you were seeing there is one of the problems with running freeze against the Macho Ghouls, and that is that it'll essentially reset their aggro. So, the idea that they are able to freeze, get knocked out of it, and immediately turn to face me and create more problems is one of the downsides of the build that as I have it. Hey, freebie. I'm all for some freebies. Hey, walk into that. Thank you. I love it when a plan comes together. Insert theme song for the A-Team here, and hopefully I'm not the only one that knows what that is. Okay, this is not what I was hoping for. I was hoping to get at least one more Cursed Relic to work with the Curse Eater's Mask. So I don't know what exactly is causing my signature gauge to charge so quickly. Lord knows I'm not complaining, though. And there we can see the problem with the build as it stands. Probably the biggest problem with it. Fortunately, we've been able to keep ourselves from taking too much damage on this floor. Well, at least until now. Alright, well that was awful. Alright, let's just go ahead and grab a potion. Yeah, up until that point, we were doing fairly well, and then just everything went to pot because of the, downside of freezing macho pools. Should have waited until Spark Array was up. Yeah, it was an oopsie on my part. I will say off the bat, though, that I don't at all dislike the original version of the run. It's just that it also hits, along with some extreme benefits, it's also got some extreme weaknesses. So the whole point of this build is to shore up those weaknesses while keeping many of these strengths intact. Alright, let's go ahead and get rid of... Actually, get rid of that. And we'll take Mercenary's Dagger. Which gives us another plus 6% critical, and that is beautiful. And interestingly enough, Catalytic Tonic has been doing good work for us. Nope, nothing here I care about. Pardon me. Oh, there's Cabby's bubblegum again. The game really wants me to take that. But it would actually be a good idea. So what can I drop? Actually, I like what I have. I'm not necessarily sure I want to drop anything. So even though the Cabby's candy items are actually pretty good for a basic spam build like this, I feel as though what I have actually outpaces that idea. So, yeah. Never mind that. We're doing good. Alright, Lady Zeal. Let's do this. Owie. And there we go. And no thank you. Okay, I made a mistake there. I thought I had something off cooldown when it wasn't. There we go. We are very heavily specced into electricity. I would love to have found the battery at some point or another, but oh well. Alright, Demi's teapot is definitely working out well for me. Ha. Oh no! Water cushion didn't work. Okay, and I just got beat up. And there you go. So I'm hoping, Felix, that you understand why I chose Spark Array. Ultimately, I feel that Spark Array is perhaps one of the best ranged control options in the entire game, and that is exactly what this build needed to succeed. I also feel as though something to distract enemy attention is better than just having that temporary fire shield, so even though freezing the Macho Ghouls is actually kind of to your detriment, it works well enough on everything else that I think that's worth it. So, that is the revisits of the Viewer Appreciation Week. I hope you guys had fun watching it. I hope you agree with the choices that I made. As per usual, go through the YouTube 5-step to help a brother get noticed in these trying times. I very much appreciate you guys coming and spending some of your free time with me. I hope you have a fantastic day or night wherever you may happen to be, and I will catch you in the next one. My name is Dark Sage Walker, and take care, everybody.